Hi guys, I'm Kath and this is part 7 of my RSD story. This is the part where I'm going to tell you about my ketamine infusion that I went in for. But before I tell you the story, I want to tell you another story, and it's about what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing my Happy Joe Koala t-shirt of love. Have a look at it. It's hilarious. Look at this koala. He has so much love. He's got love heart for eyes, and got so much love that he wears his love. His actual heart is a love heart, and he wears it on the outside, and it is pink and sparkly. Pink and sparkly. It's like it should be for a 5-year-old, isn't it? It's adult size, so these are the sort of things that I love. So I arrived at the hospital and I was quickly shown to my room, which was lovely. I had a view of some houses, and one house in particular I got to know the old man quite well. Like, he didn't know that I got to know him, but he seems to put his rubbish out a lot. Shortly after I was admitted, I was given my hospital band. And like normal, this goes on around your wrist. So, yada yada yada, hospital band, labelled. People know who I am and don't, go drugging up some strange person that just jumped into bed without a band. So I told the nurse that at first it was on too tight and it was hurting, and then she put it on looser, and I kind of thought, well, this is going to hurt me anyway. I can't wear bracelets, can't wear jewellery, my skin is hypersensitive. And I tried to explain it, but I just got treated like I was being a hypochondriac and over-exaggerating, and that it didn't really hurt. So, news to you, nurse, look up RSD, look up complex regional pain syndrome, because hypersensitivity is a symptom and the hospital needs to cater for it. Because it hurt me for the first couple of days until the ketamine set in. It hurt my arm to have the bracelet on it, and you go there for pain relief, not to be put in pain, just to be labelled. I think it's stupid. I think they could use something softer. Okay, so when I arrived, the nurse came to introduce herself to me and explain a little to me about how the infusion would work and find out a bit about my condition. So I had to explain to her that I had RSD in all of my limbs, so both of my legs and both of my arms. So she discerned from this that an IV probably wasn't going to be the best thing for me, especially because I'd been told how it's from a needle just for a blood test only a couple of months earlier. So it was kind of a bit of a stuff around at the hospital, and they were trying to get in touch with the doctor and I couldn't get in touch with him, and then they were saying they were going to put it in the top of my arm, and they just kept saying, we're going to put it in the top of your arm. And I didn't know what it was that they were talking about. It turns out it was a PICC line, and what that is it's like a catheter thing that they insert in here, and it goes straight into your vein, and it goes all the way through here into your chest, and dispenses the medicine, whatever's in your drip machine, throughout your body. They explained that I was going to need that, and then they said, okay, well, someone's going to come and get you for it at 5:30. So 5:30 came and went, and then they came to me after leaving me there in the hospital room all day. I'd been there for like 6 or 7 hours, and the nurse comes in and says, oh, I'm sorry, but you can't get your decline until tomorrow morning. So I'm like, well, can I go home? No, you can't go home. We haven't done anything to you, but you have to spend the night in hospital and pay for it. So Kath kind of cracked shit. Kath was not happy. Kath did break down in hysterics. Kath was quite sore, and it had been a long day. And anyway, it turned out that the hysterics were actually a fantastic idea, because as soon as that happened, other things started to happen. Suddenly I was told that they could administer the ketamine subcutaneously, which I didn't know what that meant. But it turns out that means through your stomach. So I got a needle, like you were about to see, like this. That needle goes straight into my belly, and you absorb the ketamine like through your fat cells. So it's a lot slower than injecting it straight into your vein, but it is at least they were starting me on the treatment. The idea was to keep me on that overnight. So I had the needle going straight into my belly, and they only moved it once, so it was there for, I don't know, 5-6 hours or something, and then slowly it built up this bubble under the skin, and time to move, started to get a bit sore, so then they moved it to the other side, and we built up a bubble over there, which was a little bit strange. The first night that I was in hospital, they check your observations. They check them every hour, so they come around and they take your blood pressure and lift your pulse and make sure you're alive and breathing and the drug hasn't killed you. We did that all night, so it's quite a long night. I was nauseous, I was really sick all night, so I barely slept a wink. Finally, one particularly lovely nurse brought me some cups of ice, and cups of ice saved the day. Cups of ice are the best. If you're nauseous and you're not sure what to do, try a cup of ice. Suck it down. Good stuff. So that brings me up to the next morning. Finally, I went to get the Ketamine installed, and it was a little bit scary. They give you a local anaesthetic in your arm and put you kind of underneath like an ultrasound machine, and the doctor inserts it in here and feeds it through, looking in the at the ultrasound to see where he's going, and it takes like 2 seconds. He was just so fast. It was a little bit scary, but once it was happening, it was less scary than I thought it was going to be. So we did that, and then again, shortly after I had the ketamine coming straight into my bloodstream, and they start on a really low dose, 5 or 7, and they'll slowly build you up over the week or the course of the infusion to a maximum of 100. It's quite a big charge, but in the beginning, it was hallucinationville for me. I think the fact that I'd had no sleep really wasn't going in my favour. That first night in hospital just did not help, because once that drug, I couldn't go to sleep because I couldn't close my eyes because I kept hallucinating. Oh, it was like I couldn't listen to music. 30 seconds felt like hours. I just kept closing my eyes and I wouldn't actually go to sleep, and then I just snap back awake and I'd be asking Mum, what time is it? What time is it? I'm going to sleep. But I hadn't been asleep. I tried listening to music to, just relax me and go to sleep, but the music was causing like patterns, like hallucinations to play across my eyes. And then in this one song, it was just one vocal. Suddenly a whole bunch of other vocals came in. Turned out all of the vocals needed their own, like, part of the hallucination. I ripped those headphones off my head so fast, like, it felt like my head was just floating with invaders. It was quite annoying, to tell you the truth. It was several hours before those sort of side effects started to calm down and the world stopped spinning and sparkling, and I stopped going down the rock water slide, which is what kept happening when I tried to close my eyes, and it was like racing through a tunnel of rocks. I'm on the water slide. Rock water slide. Yeah. Finally, things calmed down and I was able to eat, but I was still feeling quite nauseous. My stomach didn't really agree with me for several days, even though there was that initial, all of those side effects. I didn't really have much pain relief straight away. It takes a while once they build up the dosage. For 2 hours, I think they were turning it up, but I was quite out of it, so it was hard to tell how often the nurses would come in and up the dosage. Now, what happens with the Ketamine is, once it's inserted, the next day they change the dressing because they shoved something into your body and it bleeds. So it's a little there, and they come and they change the dressing, and then they don't change the dressing for another 7 days. I know that, because I was told that several thousand million billion trillion gazillion times. See, what happened was, they changed the dressing, and look, the nurse was quite honest about the fact that it was good practice, so didn't have that much experience with them. The little pad you see in the picture that's underneath the main plastic part of the line, that wasn't laid in, and it was put on quite low where it curls and bends into my elbow. I didn't notice at the time, it all felt fine. It wasn't until the next day when I had a shower and the nurse didn't cover it. The first day they covered it with a plastic bag like a cast,